All right, y'all, what is going on? Back with another video. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everything is good. It is what, Wednesday? Yeah, it's the middle of the week already. This week is going by pretty quick, man. That's a good thing, I guess. I mean, you don't want time to go too fast, right? But nevertheless, hopefully you guys out there working. Hopefully everything is good on your end. Hopefully all is well. If you're out there grinding, that is great. Keep doing, keep pushing at it. If you are maintaining, that's even better. Keep up at it. As far as gaming go, I want to talk about something that came across my YouTubes. I see a lot of people are talking about, but I want to put my own spin on it. So let's go ahead and get into this. I heard about this whole stop killing games thing, and I understand where it's coming from, but unfortunately it looks like it's not going to go too far over there in Europe, and it looks like it may fall flat, and it's really unfortunate because you want to try your best to preserve games, but hopefully some type of resolution to come to that. But I will also say, this is my take on it. As far as preserving games, it is up to us. I understand that there are some things that we cannot control when it comes to actually, online capabilities, servers going down, end of life stuff. But I think that really we should have the power to make some things change in that fashion. We may not be able to stop it altogether, but we can slow it down. One thing I've learned, especially over here in the States, that the legislation, they don't care about what goes on with video games. I'm gonna be honest, they really don't. Unless if it's like completely egregious, they let us basically fend for ourselves. We have to police ourselves. This is what happened with the ESRB. This is what happened with all these other things when it came to loot boxes or whatever. We kind of had to get to the point we had to police ourselves. Now, there was a little bit of legislation being pushed behind loot boxes and microtransactions, but at the end of the day, that all just came about from us actually making noise about it. And so when it comes to but game preservation, it goes the same way. We have to make it a way to where we get what we want. Now, what I mean by that is, whatever company, whether it be The Crew or whatever the case may be, because The Crew is like one of those games that everybody talks about when it comes to killing games. When it comes to any of those games, we have to make our voices heard, and it's not through the legislative process. We may have to go through the judicial process, and that's what's going on with Ubisoft right now with The Crew. And basically, we're going to have to get together to get in front of a judge to make something happen, because us getting stuff in front of legislation, lawmakers, they could care less. They'll look at it and be like, okay, what's next? And they want us to police ourselves. So getting in front of judge is one thing. Second, what we can do, if a game is really, really good, and we really want that game to be preserved, we need to make a full push to the developers or to the company to make that game survive. This is what happened also with Ubisoft and The Crew. Now, you look at the next iteration of The Crew, they're not going to have this implementation of the game is going to die off when it's over. They're going to say, hey, the content that's in this game, you're going to get to keep. And you're going to have to set that precedent that us gamers are going to be the ones that, have the voice that speaks out. If enough of us say something, more than likely they will be able to, keep the game alive, or we can go in the judicial route and we'll go that way as well. So these are the things you're going to have to do when it comes to those type of things. So also, you're just going to have to be vocal about the games that you want. I think I said that twice, right? Yeah, but you just have to be vocal about the games that you want. Because at the end of the day, the games that you want to keep alive, you have to make a push. You got to create a community. You got to make things going. One thing I love about this, even though it's not necessarily online server type of related type thing, is for the most part, you look at the fighting game community. I mean, you look at games like Super Turbo, Third Strike, any of those games, they found a way to play those games online. Even before that, the other official means came out. Now, I'm not saying that every game that we want to work with or a game that we want to keep around will be that way, but there are ways of making things happen one way or another. Like I said, we make it happen on our own, like the fighting game community did. We get at the devs and make a huge push, and that huge push is going to have to be big. So it has to be a really big push for gamers to say, hey, we want such and such game to stay alive before they do something. Or you just go through the legislative route, which could be, it could be costly. It really could. It could cost a lot of money, but if it's something that you want, you got to make the ways for it to happen. Now, one thing I will say as well, what I like about what Forza and Turn 10 does, I love what they do. Even though this game is semi-online, semi-offline, they give you a heads up. Hey, look, this game is about to die. We're going to put this game on a discount. We're going to put the DLC on discount. If you want all this stuff, you better get it. This is how I end up getting all the Forza 4, Forza 5, 6, 7, even Forza Horizon 4. I end up getting all the stuff that I wanted in that game because they gave us a heads up. And they were able to provide us a outlet to have this on content to be available, because some of this DLC is gone forever. The DLC for Forza 7, Forza 6, Forza 5, that stuff is gone forever. You can't go back and buy that. But I do commend them for giving us a heads up to let us know, like, hey, if you want this game, hey, this is the way to get it, because we're delisting this game. You cannot buy Forza Horizon 4 anymore without, getting a physical copy, and you can't get the DLC. Same thing with Forza 7. You can get a physical copy, but you can't buy the game online, and you can't get the DLC. And I think it's so on and so on for the other games. And I think they kind of did the same thing, not they, but I think Polydigital, I think I said that right. They did the same thing for Gran Turismo Sport. Gran Turismo Sport is an excellent racing game, and that game was able to be somewhat preserved. So going offline on that game is actually pretty, valuable. Got a lot of stuff in it. Now, what I will say to other games, I believe that other games need to follow suit, and the games that don't, we need to be the loudest on it. And at the end of the day, it's up to us. And if you want a particular game to survive, we need to get together and do that. Now, like I said, going to these legislative branches and all that, it sounds great. It is also a noble cause, and it's the right way to do things. But these legislators, they really don't care at the end of the day. And in some cases, when you look at Stop Killing Games, which I didn't even mention this, they just didn't get enough signatures. So, like I said, at the end of the day, it's really up to us. It really is. If we want to make this thing happen, if you want games to be preserved or whatever the case may be, that's the way to do it. This is one thing I also commend, and nobody really talks about this guy that much anymore, and I don't know if it's even for a worthy cause, but somebody like Gerard the Completionist, who bought every game on a Wii U console. And actually, those games are out in the wild if you want to get them to pirate them. To be honest, if you want to get them by the various means, they're out there on the internet. So a lot of those games are preserved in some form or fashion, whether it be nefarious or not, which at the end of the day, piracy is instilling if you can't buy it, right? Ain't that the way they say it? Or something like that. But yeah, but that's basically what it is. So I commend anybody who's trying to preserve these games, however you're doing it. Because I believe these games should be preserved. But I think the lesson is really learned at the end of the day is you're going to have to go through this through another route than going through the legislative branch, because you don't get enough signatures. They won't look at it. In some cases, I feel like this is common sense stuff that don't need that many signatures. This is stuff that should be, to the forefront. When anti-consumer practices are happening, that should be, one person could make a complaint and somebody should look into it. You shouldn't need like 1 million people to sign on to something before it could be looked at. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Some of these people, their own constituents doesn't even consist of 1 million people, but they want 1 million people to sign on before they even look at it. It's kind of nefarious if you ask me. But let me know what you think. What do you think about the Stop Killing Games thing? It's unfortunate, but I think at the end of the day, it is all up to us. That's basically what it is. So I'm gonna get up out of here. I gotta get back on this road. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. I'm up out of here. All right, peace.